All right, welcome back to Mini Hoopers. It's been quite some time since we last did this, but we are now back. I'm Eli.
My name's Chase.
Yep, we are here, and we're kind of doing a special episode here just to talk about our live reactions to the news that Daniel Jones will be the Colts starting quarterback. Chase, first, let's get your thoughts on this.
My thoughts are very poor on this, as you and I both know. So for those of you who don't know, Eli and I, very big indie sports fans, right? Grew up in Indiana, big time Colts fans, and we're tired of sucking. Actually, we're tired of mediocrity. We either want to suck or we want to do well, right? At least, make the playoffs. We don't expect to be Super Bowl contenders this year, but, at least, maybe a wild card appearance for the first time in five or 6 years, and, the choosing Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson really just tells me you're choosing mediocrity over a boom or bust prospect. Because, Anthony Richardson is either going to have like a fantastic year where he breaks out and like we win, up to 10 or 11 games, or he's going to have a terrible year. We win like 2 games and we tank and we pick the top quarterback in the draft. Right. So,
yeah.
To me, it's not a like up or down move. We're just staying the same like we have been for the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think we have struggled a lot over the past few years with just kind of having the same season over and over again and getting stuck in this quarterback carousel where we're just going from mediocre QB to mediocre QB. And we finally get that high draft pick and we pick a quarterback with the 4th overall pick that we know is going to be a raw prospect. We know it's going to take some time to develop him. And we are furious at him for not developing enough. I mean,
and we don't give him the opportunity to develop either.
That exactly. We are not giving him the time that he needs. We're not giving him the reps that he needs. He's only had like 350 total snaps of NFL football. And I know that has a lot to do with the injury, but like we have seen 70 games from Daniel Jones in his career, 70 career games, and he has had 72 picks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. Daniel Jones, if you're listening, I don't think you're good at football. I really don't. I think that you are like, I don't think that you're even a top 32 quarterback in the league. I think there are some backups better. Not that I'm saying that Anthony Richardson right now is a better quarterback, but I'm saying, again, I'd rather suck with AR than be mid with Daniel Jones, because at least AR is fun football. Everyone likes to watch him bomb a 75-yard pass like on a dime down the field,
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's the whole frustration is you're not getting anything exciting with Daniel Jones. You're not getting anything that you love from Daniel Jones. Like, you're not even getting like a real competitor out of Daniel Jones.
Right.
You're just kind of getting a mediocre quarterback. It's like starting Joe Flacco or starting Gardner Minshew. I mean, we had to start Minshew, but Minshew was the best of the 3 quarterbacks in what we have seen so far. But like, starting Joe Flacco or starting Daniel Jones, you're not getting the upside. You're not getting the fun. You're not getting your franchise's QB. You're just getting someone who's okay at football. Hey, Editor Eli here. I just wanted to stop the video for a moment and let you guys know that we have a very exciting year of Mini Hoopers planned for you guys this year, including a special live fantasy draft-a-thon where me and Chase are going to be breaking down the Mini Hoopers fantasy football draft happening this Friday, August 22nd at 7 p.m. That's when the draft is starting. We'll probably start the stream 30 minutes earlier, and it's going to be very exciting. We're going to have lots of fun, but we're going to have lots of content all year, so please don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you guys can see all the future content that we have planned for Mini Hoopers this year. Thank you, and let's get back to the video. Right. Like, even if AR is the worst player, there's so much more going for AR than there is going for Daniel Jones or Joe Flacco. There's no progression there. They're not going to get better at football. The only one who's going to get better and possibly take you to the playoffs is Anthony Richardson. I mean, there is a slim chance with Daniel Jones, but he's not going to take a leap that's going to make him a playoff competitor. That leap isn't going to happen this year with Daniel Jones. It probably won't happen with AR, but the fact that it might should be enough to start him.
Exactly. Or at least, like, I mean, even if you're not super, like, confident about him, like, give him, like, yeah, start him the first, like, week or two, but it's like you can always bench him. Like, if he's doing terrible, Like, you can always bench him, but I think you have to understand if you're starting Daniel Jones, you're giving up on Richardson, which I saw a lot of people on Twitter talking about. Like, this marks the end of the Richardson era in Indy, which makes me incredibly sad because I think AR is such a fun quarterback to watch. And again, like, I'll be the first to admit, he hasn't played well. He has not been a good quarterback. But I think that even in the preseason game we just watched a few days ago, the one versus the Packers, he looked really good. I mean, he was making the correct reads, he was being decisive, and he was hitting those like 5, 10, 15-yard checkdowns like it was nothing. And then he still hit like a 50-yard bomb like on a dime.
He was the best quarterback in that game, like bar none.
Absolutely.
I just absolutely cannot believe that this is what we're doing. I'm seeing mock trades for Anthony Richardson right now. This is the third year of a top 5 pick, and we're giving up on him this early? And I know that QB is the most important position, but, like, it's about making an improvement. You don't bench someone just because they're at the same level. We would have known Daniel Jones was a starter 2 weeks ago if he was that much better than Anthony Richardson.
Exactly. That's where I'm at. It's like, it's not like they're making this decision like Daniel Jones has outperformed him in camp, which he has not, and outperformed him in preseason, which he has not. So it's like, I don't understand like where this decision is coming from, because it's been clear to me, and I'm sure to you as well, that Anthony Richardson has outperformed him in every single category.
Yes. I mean, you look at that game against the Packers, which a lot of people are pointing fingers to because Daniel Jones had more yards and a higher completion percentage. He was 7 for 11, whereas Anthony Richardson was 6 for 11. But you include several plays that were taken back by penalties, including that like 40-yard bomb to Anthony Gould that was called back because of A.D. Mitchell offsides, which was far away from the play. So like that penalty had nothing to do with the play that was made. It makes it nonetheless impressive. So if A.D. Mitchell's not offsides there, Anthony Richardson's stat line looks much better than Daniel Jones. But people are pointing to that stat line saying, well, Daniel Jones had a better game. I would disagree. Daniel Jones didn't score a touchdown. Daniel Jones didn't get down the field. He just made some completions. They're like, he had a good second drive. But he didn't get anything out of that drive. Spencer Schrader did. Daniel Jones didn't.
Yeah, he just did he just dink and dunked everything, and I mean he threw a couple really bad passes. Like there should have been the throw to Tyler Warren that was like 25-ish yards down the field should have been a touchdown, but he underthrew him. Actually, he overthrew him to the sideline, but I mean if he let him anywhere more inside, that's a touchdown. So it's like Anthony Richardson, like dare I say, would have put that shit on a dime, you know?
He would have, and that's the exact frustration, is that the things that we're seeing from Daniel Jones, like the issues with his game that we have seen in training camp and in the preseason games, are the same issues that Anthony Richardson had all of last year. They're the same issues. It's just that Daniel Jones is older, and let me tell you, every single coach that has ever complimented Daniel Jones, whether it's Kevin O'Connell last year when the Vikings signed him as to be their backup, whether it was Dable with the Giants, with us, what Steichen said in the press conference today, they were like, well, you know, he's just a real good leader and he's a competitor off the field.
Right.
And you'll hear them list off things, and so many things that they love about him, and yet none of them are how he plays football.
Right. None of them are football skill.
It's not about how good he is at football. That's not what this benching is about. This is not what him getting the starting job is about. It's not about the football on the field. It's, oh, man, but he's a locker room guy. He's not helping us win games any more than Richardson is.
Right, and that's great. If he's a locker room guy, keep him in the locker room. Keep him on the bench. Like, that's great that we have him in our system. If he's really that much of a competitor, that doesn't mean we need him on the field, you know? You sign people to be locker room guys all the time and don't have them start.
It's just so bizarre to me how this decision was made. That there was so many people in the front office and in the coaching staff, players that were okay with what just occurred. That there was that many people in this organization that were just like, yeah, I'm chill with this decision. Like, we have given up on quite possibly a generational physical athlete. He didn't have all the intangibles to be an all-time QB. And that's okay right now. Right now, we just got to get him on the field and let him play football. He's healthier than he's been. I mean, if this decision came down to him dislocating his pinky, then you guys didn't want him to start anyways.
Right, exactly. And they didn't announce it after he did dislocate his pinky. They announced it the week after he performed very well in the preseason game that he started. He didn't sit out. It's not like he's like taking a week off. I mean, he played with a wrap on his pinky. Obviously that still hurts. You don't get over a dislocated pinky in 2 days. He still started that, or he didn't start, but he still played that game. So
and he looked great that game.
Right, exactly. And I don't think that it's injury issues that you're worried about, because if you were, let him go out and hurt himself, and then you start Daniel Jones.
Yes.
You got to, if he's healthy, you have to start him. You're not preserving him for anything. You need this kid to develop, and the only way he's going to do that is on the football field.
Yes, I totally agree. I was talking with my brother, and my father today about this situation, which I'm generally the most pro AR of my family, but everyone kind of wants him to start because we don't really love Daniel Jones either. I'm pro AR. They're not like pro AR. They're just anti-Daniel Jones,
right?
Which is a reasonable decision to make.
For sure.
My brother said when we were talking about it, he said, well, I saw some people online saying that maybe this is like a Bryce Young situation where they benched him for a few games and then he came back and he was better. AR did that.
Right.
AR
last year,
did
and he
that
came back
at the
and
end
played
of last
okay.
year.
Right.
He was a serviceable QB for the entire last few games of the season. Were we great? No, but we lost 3 games straight when Joe Flacco was starting. AR comes back and we beat the Patriots, beat the Jets. We had a generational fumble against the Giants to end the season, but AR made that development. He learned from that, and then he came back in this offseason and had the best training camp he has had in his entire career. And if you ask any of the players or the coaching staff on the team, they're saying, yes, this was AR's best training camp. And you're like,
yes.
you thought he was a starter last year. Last year you were like, oh, this guy's the starter. And
I think Joe Flacco is much better competition than Daniel Jones is. I think Flacco's he's way older, and I think he's a much better quarterback. So I don't understand how he can start over Joe Flacco but can't start over Daniel Jones when he's only gotten better,
Exactly. He has improved in a lot of the ways that he needed to over this offseason, and yet we're still deciding to run with Daniel Jones. And I don't think it's a mentality thing. I think he has locked in since the tap-out situation, which I do think was blown out of proportion by Pat McAfee stands, which I love Pat McAfee, but he was blowing the whistle on that immediately and saying, this is a generational issue. I can't believe this happened. And I'm like, okay, it was bad.
Yeah,
but
it's
let's
not the end of the world, though.
In my personal opinion, I think if AR had done better in the interview than to just say, I'm tired, that probably would have done better for the organization, and that would have made him look much better. He could have been like, I felt like I was hurt, and I wouldn't do a service to this team. I would do worse if I was on the field than Joe Flacco in that moment. So I had to take a step back and give it to him because I was not physically able to at that time because I thought I was injured. That would have helped us out a bit more.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll dress up as him next press conference and I'll talk for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that was a rough situation. And like, obviously, like, I'm not a fan that he did that. I'm not like gonna sit here and defend like, oh, AR can do no wrong, but like, he was a 21-year-old kid, dude. It's like this guy's started like 6 seasons of football in his entire life, So like, give him a little bit of a break if he's still like, learning. I mean, this kid's younger than a lot of the kids in this rookie class this past year, So
yes, he's still like a top 5 youngest QB in the league. He's still
right.
One
you
of the
can't write him off like this.
You can't. He's still so young, and there's gonna be another team that is gonna take the opportunity with him. If we end up trading him, or if we end up releasing him, if we give up on Anthony Richardson, there is going to be countless teams who are like, I'll take a raw prospect. I'll take one of the best physical QBs we have ever seen. And they're going to take him, and he's going to look great because they're going to give him a chance. And we haven't. And, like, if we have issues with like, oh, he's not a winner. You drafted him when he wasn't a winner. This was known about him. This was the biggest frustration with him when we were doing the pre-draft stuff in 2022. We knew that he was going to be a raw prospect. We knew that he wasn't going to win any. He hadn't won anything before, and we still drafted him. And I saw someone on Twitter who was like, "Well, he didn't have a choice. It was him or Levis." And I'm like, trade up then. Don't draft a QB.
Right.
Because if that is your genuine concern, then just don't sign him. Another thing that I saw was we didn't even enter the Sam Darnold sweepstakes this summer, and yet we're like, Daniel Jones is the guy. Sam Darnold was a free agent, and we could have brought him in. We had the cap space.
Exactly, because I guarantee after last year they were like, oh yeah, we're going to start Richardson. We're going to start Richardson's going to develop. He's going to be fine. But now Daniel Jones comes in, and then for some reason the entire organization's freaking the F out. My question to you, Eli, is do you think that this is a decision passed down from the ownership?
I don't think so at all. I don't think the Ursays would want this situation. This is their first few months of owning the team. I don't think at that level they would want this to happen. Could have been Ballard? Potentially. It could have potentially been Ballard. But then it would also be AR's his biggest failure. The one time he had a top 5 pick, he failed.
Right, which is a bad look for him. So, yeah, I don't know. Because this doesn't feel like a Steichen-made decision to me. Steichen feels like the guy who's going to take the risk and start the guy who he's been, cradling for the last 2 years,
Yeah,
that's just my only issue.
I just don't know. Whoever it came from, it makes them look like an idiot. It makes our organization look stupid. Because
I hope it did come from Ballard. I hope it did.
Yes. I mean, I think if we stick with Daniel Jones all season, and we are just content with him losing games, I want to clear house. The entire coaching staff, Jim Bob Cooter included.
Not Jim Bob.
Get rid of everyone. We need to just hard reset. You know what? Scrap the team. Just start from the beginning, 2K rebuild style.
Start from the head. Get rid of Chris Ballard. Cut off Steichen. Cut off everybody. Because it's like, if we sucked with AR, it'd be one thing. But if we're gonna suck with a washed up quarterback, that's a bad look for everybody.
That's showing that the potential of AR, which we knew was a prospect. I'd like everyone to hear that again. We knew AR was going to be a prospect. So our goal was not to win now. It wasn't to win 2 years ago. It wasn't to win last year. And it likely wasn't to win this year. You draft a guy who, in the beginning, you said it's going to take 3 to 5 years to develop this kid. You said that.
To develop it into being an NFL level quarterback, not even like a superstar. The thing that makes him a superstar is his raw athleticism. So if you can get him, if you can take that 5 years to get him to be like a Matthew Stafford level passer today, just accurate, good deep ball, can dink and dunk. His raw athleticism can carry him into that superstar status. He's like a Michael Vick.
Yes, exactly. And that's what's so frustrating about it is we knew this, and all the fans are like, "Well, I want to win." I'm like, then you shouldn't have been happy about him in the first place. You shouldn't have liked him when we drafted him. You shouldn't be proud of our organization at this point, because when we drafted Anthony Richardson, we said, hey, this is what we want from the kid. We want to develop him so in 3 to 4 years, he can be our starter. He can be the QB. He can take us to the playoffs in that point in time. And I mean, our team physically is there, and I think us having a good receiving core, a good O-line, a solid defense, that is those things kind of made people have higher expectations for our team when our offense was still very young. I mean, Josh Downs, A.D. Mitchell last year, our quarterbacks a second year who hardly played any of his first year. Last year, our expectation should not have been the playoffs, and yet we're talking like we were a real contender.
Right.
That's not the goal. And if that was the goal, we would not be going in with Daniel Jones. We'd go try to get a Kirk Cousins or a Sam Darnold. But we're not.
I completely agree.
Because we want our QB for the future. And let's say Daniel Jones succeeds. Let's say he gets us to the playoffs. He's on a 1-year, $14 million deal. We're going to have to re-sign him, or we're drafting a QB late in the first round. There is just no world where this works out.
We're cooked regardless.
There's
It
no
doesn't
world
matter.
where this worked out. We can't
Exactly.
get anything out of AR. This is why I told my family. I was like, there is no world that I would rather suck with Daniel Jones or win with Daniel Jones. Like, I don't want anything to do with Daniel Jones. In comparison, I would love to suck with AR.
Mm-hmm.
Because at least
Absolutely.
it's AR. At least we're trying. At least we're giving him something. We're giving him a fighting chance. And if we
it'd be
win with
more
AR,
fun.
that's awesome. It would be. There would be 60-yard deep bombs. And if he
Right.
gets
He
hurt,
can throw. Sorry, go ahead.
if he gets hurt, Daniel Jones is still there.
Right.
Like-
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, AR can throw a 35% passing or a completion percentage, but if he hits like 2 60-yard bombs, that is an incredibly fun game to watch. Incredibly
is.
fun game.
I
Is
mean,
it frustrating? Yeah, but I'd rather watch that than watch Daniel Jones throw 62% and for like 170 pass yards and us lose by 40.
I just think people need to check their expectations in our fan base. And I think our front office does too. Because we're acting like we are genuine contenders right now.
Right.
And I think
They
the
want to
only
be
reason...
they want to be the Commanders.
Yes. But the thing is, the Commanders had Jaden Daniels, who was, at the time, a pretty raw prospect. Like, come on. You don't go with Daniel Jones. You only look at Daniel Jones and say, oh, he might be the guy, because you don't think AR can be.
Right.
This says less about Daniel Jones and what we think about Daniel Jones than how little our organization thinks of Anthony Richardson. And that is so disappointing. And they probably know more than I do. I'm just a fan who didn't start watching football until like 3 years ago. But you don't give up on the kid. You give up on the washed 30-year-old who proved at the highest level that he is not a contender.
Right, he had a great Giants team around him for a couple of years and couldn't do anything with them. What was
He
that
didn't do
video?
anything.
What was that video that you sent me? Was that our AGM talking about how we're not done with AR after this year, like we're not giving up on him? Who was that?
It was our assistant GM, yes.
Assistant GM, right? So
He
I
said
mean, what this decision
last
essentially
week-
tells me. Yeah, go ahead. Tell
He
him.
said last week that we are not going to give up with AR. We knew this was going to be a long-term process. And yet we still
Right.
make this decision.
Yeah, this decision tells me that answer was complete bullhonky. That that was just he's just lying through his teeth to me. Because if I'm AR, like if he doesn't get any reps at all this season, doesn't start any games, request a trade, get out of here.
100%.
Because I want the kid to succeed, and if it's not going to be in Indy, it's not going to be in Indy.
Yeah, point blank. That's just it. It is. I just want him to succeed as a person, and it seems like our organization has given up on him. And now I want him to get out of here because we have done him an injustice. Of course, I would love for him to be my QB, but I mean, I've seen lots of people on Twitter, lots of Colts fans on Twitter being like, if I'm AR, I'm going straight to my agent and requesting a trade now because the organization has decided. My dad saw the video of AR saying, you got to respect the decision, And
I have his quote here.
Yeah.
He said,
you go ahead.
oh my gosh, what did he say? Hang on, I gotta find the quote. Never mind, keep talking. What were you saying?
Yeah, I don't have it. He said he just said he respects the decision, and he was giving Daniel Jones confidence. And
he said, quote, "You have to respect the decision. They feel like Daniel Jones is a better fit for the team. It doesn't undermine any of the work that I've put in," end quote.
Yes. So, a lot of people have taken that as in, oh, he's given up. What is he supposed to say?
Right.
What
they
is he
just
supposed
hate
to
on
say?
him so much, and it's it makes me very sad.
Yes, because it's not just the organization. I mean, I'm mad at the organization for how they have done him, but our fan base has made him feel bad at every portion. And we have one of the best, most loyal fan bases in the NFL. I mean, we dealt with the terrible years of just old quarterback after old quarterback. And then we're going back to it because the moment we get a young guy with potential, we're giving up on him because we want an old quarterback. There's something about Flacco last year.
We didn't win year one, so let's just ship him out of the organization. It's it's ridiculous, and it seems like the consensus around social media is Colts fans aren't happy with this. So
yes.
I don't know why Shane Steichen's in a very, very harsh minority here, supposedly starting Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson. It's crazy.
I just think we're just giving up on this guy when we're the season hasn't even started yet. We're at a point where you can make one of the two decisions, and one is clearly better to me. From my perspective, there's one decision that's clearly better. And that is making the play. You got a first down. We're starting the season, first down, start of the drive. You have a play. You have a play here. But you punt it. You're punting first down with Daniel Jones. You're just saying, I don't want the opportunity to get better this season. I just want to go as far as Daniel Jones can take us. I think Anthony Richardson,
very far as we've seen.
I think the floor is so low with Daniel Jones. I think people are really confused with this whole floor and ceiling thing because they're talking like Anthony Richardson's floor is so much worse than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has always been, through his entire career, an inaccurate quarterback. Again, 70 games, 72 picks. He averages more than a pick a game. He is not an accurate quarterback. And that was our frustration with Anthony Richardson, is that, he's inaccurate. Neither is Daniel Jones.
Let's start an older, inaccurate quarterback, I mean, to your point about the floor is people say Anthony Richardson's floor is lower than Daniel Jones. You can't get lower than a 2. You can barely get lower than a 2-win floor. And I think that's our floor with Daniel Jones. I think our ceiling is 8 and 9. I think with Richardson, our floor is, again, 2 wins. I think our ceiling is 12.
Yes, I think Anthony Richardson can progress to take us to more wins. Daniel Jones is not going to progress this season. There is nothing about his game that is going to get better. There is room for that with Anthony Richardson. Worst case scenario, they're the same level of bad.
Right. But you suck with a 22-year-old or you suck with a 30-year-old? Which one would you rather do?
I would rather suck with a 22-year-old.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, I think the organization is going to. They're going to see the frustration with the fans. They're going to stick with their decision to start Daniel Jones week 1. I think they'll stick with it maybe another 1 or 2 games. And then by week 3 or week 4, we'll see AR step in.
I hope so. I really hope that Daniel Jones does not have a very good first couple games. And that sounds really bad for me as a Colts fan, but I really don't want to see a year with Daniel Jones. I think I want what's best for the organization, and I don't think Daniel Jones is it.
I agree. That's why I was rooting against Daniel Jones in our preseason game. I was looking for him to have a bad game, and then he did, and then that didn't matter because I think our front office had already made the decision.
They had,
and I think it was made after the pinky. But it's so frustrating, and I think we have capped our level of wins because we have shown that we don't have faith in our young star. And I think that has capped the progression that Anthony Richardson is able to make this season. And I've gotten to the point where I just hope we're tanking and that we want a high pick. But, I mean, our free agency signings this year.
Yeah.
Our free agency signings are hey, we're trying to compete this year. We're building a good defense. We're building a good defense. Let's go get the
second best cornerback and the best free safety in free agency and draft the best tight end in the draft and do all this stuff just so we can suck this year.
Exactly.
Just so we can suck.
Why would we punt this? I mean, everything else in free agency says we're trying to contend, and then for our starting quarterback, sorry, I just punched my microphone. For our starting quarterback, we go and get a scrub who was the 3rd stringer on the Vikings last year. Sam Darnold was your first QB1. Daniel Jones was 2 levels underneath that. Right. He was not serviceable for the 2-win Giants.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just
Giants.
It's crazy, dude.
Giants fans on Twitter the past few days have been seeing clips of Daniel Jones or seeing clips of Jackson Dart playing in their preseason games, and they're thank God I don't have to watch Daniel Jones play for my football team. That's what they've been saying. That's what they're like. I don't have to watch Daniel Jones play football as a fan of, I don't have to see him play for my team. They are so happy about it. These are people who watched him play for 7 years. And they're like, thank God he's at our franchise. And now we're like, yeah, that's our starter. I know I know fans are just like backseat coaches and like they're not in the position to actually be correct. We might all be wrong about this, and Daniel Jones will have a great season. But from everything I have seen as someone who pays close attention to the team, it's just a rough look. It's a rough look.
It is. We need to wrap this up. It's getting too long.
It is. I'm gonna put our win total with or without Richardson. I'm just gonna say from this point on, even if Richardson comes in, I think we're looking at a 7-win ceiling with a 2-win floor.
Yeah, I actually agree.
Even if Richardson comes back, I don't think that we'll see much better.
I'm gonna bump it up a little bit because unless the only thing that might take it down would be injuries for me. I'm gonna say we're an 8-win ceiling and we're a 4-win floor. But I think that we can win 4 games with our defensive alone if they can stay on the field.
That's true. I just worry about those injuries because I don't have faith that any player in our 53-man lineup will stay in good condition.
We play the Titans twice and the Jags twice, so there's that.
Well, we might lose 2 times to the Jags because
that would be horrible.
I don't have confidence that we're going to be able to. I'm not confident we can compete with any team in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I think we could beat the Titans because the Titans are bad at football? Yes. But am I confident that we'll beat them? No. I'm not confident we'll beat anybody right now. Our vibes are at an all-time low.
Mm-hmm. Completely agree. I can't imagine teammates are very happy that Daniel Jones is starting.
Apparently, he's a great leader in the locker room, but...
Stay in the locker room. Don't even come on the field. Stay in there. Lead them.
I mean, that's why we bring in Joe Flacco, to be that veteran mentor in the locker room and to make everybody feel good. That's why Daniel Jones is here. He can be that Joe Flacco presence while Anthony Richardson is actually making progress on the field. But
for sure.
It's like... I'll end this with one final analogy. You and I, we went to a Indiana Fever versus Atlanta Dream game. It was the second game of the WNBA season for the Fever. It was a very close game at the end. And Caitlin Clark, obviously, is the Fever's best weapon. You know, offensively, she has a gravity, a magnitude. The defense has to pressure Caitlin because if they don't, if they leave her open for a second, she is a offensive, she will kill you. So you have to guard up on her. So someone always she has that gravity. She might draw a double team. That's how good she is. And what does Stephanie White decide to do? In that final play of the game, there's a few seconds left.
Make her inbound the ball.
Make her inbound the ball to completely take her out of the possession. The way it went in, it wasn't even like a swing it right back to her. She was just entirely out of the play. It left no one open. They were able to do single coverage on every single player on the court. And we missed the shot because Natasha Howard took a hook shot from the free throw line. That's how that game ended. We are taking our greatest weapon, someone with great, a dynamic way of scoring. He could score with a pass, he could bring it in himself. The threat of Anthony Richardson is so much scarier to a team than the threat of Daniel Jones. That alone makes him the better option at QB. That versatility. Even if he's not a great passer, he has made passes to get touchdowns, and he has also run in to get touchdowns. Mm-hmm. That versatility is getting completely lost. We are making him inbound the ball and taking him completely out of the play when he is one of our best offensive scorers.
We aren't even making him inbound the ball. We're making him sit on the bench, and that he's not even on the floor. He's not even a threat to anybody anymore.
Exactly. You know? There is no threat with that, and he's one of the scariest players in the NFL with that. I think
Right.
because
Do you
teams
guys
are
want to tackle
scared of
Anthony
him rushing
Richardson?
in.
Because I don't want to. I don't want to tackle Anthony Richardson.
I don't think anyone does because he's 6'5" and he's made of muscle. Like
Exactly.
that skill set of his makes him indispensable on the offensive end of the ball. And unless we turn him into a tight end, we're not getting anything from one of the best athletes in football right now because we decided to throw him on the bench. And that just frustrates me so much. Well, I think that'll do it. I think I talked way longer than I should have.
Hey, that's okay. I got out of our frustrations, you know.
I needed to rant about it because I was so mad. I was just sitting in class today fuming.
Me too. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Mini Hoopers. See when we see. I'm not sure when we're gonna film. Oh, Friday, right?
Yes. We're going to do like a big fantasy draft party. I'll put out a graphic for it. I'm going to be putting out graphics promoting Mini Hoopers a lot more this season. I'm going to try to do a lot more content this season. Even if Chase can't be in stuff because he's a busy guy, I'm going to try to do stuff. And even if he wants to do stuff while I'm not around, we're going to try our hardest to make some good content this year. And this is hoping that this is going to be a really good year for Mini Hoopers because we're going to be making a lot more stuff for you.
Yeah, follow all of our socials. We'll put them in the description of the YouTube video.
Absolutely, we will. See ya.